'Cause I'm so excited and I just can't hide it. Maya Coca got a great job for the summer. The summer. If you did tune into the previous video where we were checking out that Signature Bank of New York, we were trying to catch a falling knife, and if you did watch that, you witnessed me buy 100 shares at $68.98 and then sell it within just a few minutes for $71.25. It was 100 shares, so that was a pocket book. We put that in the pocket book, $227. Now that's not so bad. Kind of makes me feel a little better about the $330 we lost on that iron condor that I bailed out on yesterday afternoon, right before the bell tolled. But I was checking back in on one of my latest sweethearts, Jackson Financial, because they've taken it on the chin the past couple of days. And I was wondering if we couldn't indeed spin the wheel of fortune. Oh, Vanna, should we spin the wheel of fortune on Jackson Financial? Because today would be the day. Today would be the day to be on the books as an owner. Today is March 10th. Tomorrow is the 11th and 12th, right? So those are weekends, not business hours, not business days. So today would be the final day to own Jackson Financial to get in on that next dividend, which is 62 cents a share. And as that price goes down, this yield goes up. So it's at $39.94. Oh, what does it do with that? What do you mean? You want it to go lower? Just for this purpose of buying it. I just want to buy it down here at like 39, anything in the 39s. Oh, there it is, 39.96. Let's take a look at the chart. What we got going on? Is it going to push red just in time for us to make a purchase of the Jackson Financial, or is it going to embarrass me in front of my friends and stay up above 40? So it's been unfairly abused, in my opinion, over the last 2 days, as the financials have just been hammered. It was like, do, 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 can't touch this. It was, what did you just say? I think I said, you can't touch this, because Hammer Time sang that song back in 1989. Yeah, you are insane. I am a little insane, but just dip back under 40 and we'll grab some shares. What do you think? Let's grab 300. Grab 300, but I want to get a deal, because that's how mine works. Remember the root beer we bought yesterday? I was super excited about saving $3 bills, so I'd love to save a few dollar bills here as well. Just dip under 40 for my friends watching at home, and we'll grab a hold of that. So let's give it a minute here and take another close look at Jackson. And here's what I mean about this company that caught my eye. They're ranked number 1 out of 6 listed in their industry. And the big industry sector would be financials. In that specific sector, they're ranked 17th out of 662. And they do a few things that we like. They pay a nice dividend, which is always at the top of our list. And they also have incredible financials. They're just being dragged by the dark undertow of the financials right now, which I understand it. A couple of the news items have basically nothing to do with Jackson Financial, but when you're staring at a recessionary period that could be right in our face, then different loans that financial institutions have on the books could start to turn on them just a bit if their clientele misses some payments here and there, and maybe even goes belly up. You're getting real close to being in that 39s, So it's called the Wheel of Fortune. It's based on the options wheel strategy. It just has one little baby step added to it. So we try to collect dollar bills 3 different ways. One would be we would buy this right now. So say we bought it at $40, right? If we bought it at $40 and we're going to buy 300 shares. So if we bought 40 at 3 times 300, that would cost us $12,000, right? So that would be today's investment of $12,000. And then if we look at what they're going to pay us, and they're going to pay this out to us on the 23rd. So that is just right around the corner. They're going to issue us 62 cents a share. So we're just talking about the shares in this particular purchase because we already own, I think, 200 other shares. So if we have 62 cents multiplied by 300 shares, that would be $186. Okay, so we would collect $186 in less than 2 weeks on March 23rd. And if we then also turned around, bright eyes, here we go, $39.99, $39.96, we will buy, and we got it for $39.92. So it could continue to drop. It could drop like a lead weight. It could drop like an anvil on top of Wile E. Coyote's head. But for our purposes, we just bought 300 shares for $39.92. So we'll be able to do the exact math right here and right now. So that's $11,976, which is $24 less than what I was prepared to spend. You're so savvy. You're really not. But I'm trying to work on these things, and I like to do it with you as my witness, because if I try to tell this story 10 years from now, hey, when I first started, I was trying to catch falling knives and dirty diapers, and then occasionally the falling goose, preferably gold, and nobody's going to believe it, but you will, because you were here with me, becoming my new best friend in stocks, options, and dividends. So if we click done, we got those shares in our pocket. So now we've lowered our average share price. Okay, so we were way above this number, but we just bought the 300 shares at $39.92. We got a total of 500 with an average share price of $41.96. But for these purposes only, I wanted to use the 300 shares I just bought. Okay, so we just bought 300 shares. I invested $11,976 in doing so. And on Monday, they're going to say, oh, okay, who's on the books? Hey, Bart's on the books, Bart Divvy. Oh, I saw his name earlier. Yeah, well, he just added 300 shares. Well, what a sweetheart. So they'll put me on the books. They'll record that on the 14th, the following day. And then the following, or is that a week later? So that's just over a week later. So that'd be like next Thursday? It'd be like Thursday, March 23rd. They would then cut me a check, and it will be delivered right into my pocketbook for 62 cents a share. We already did that math, right? 62 times 300 is $186. All right, so there's $186. And the second and third part of this Wheel of Fortune trade is to then, in fact, trade options on that. And we're only talking about the 300 shares that we just purchased. So if we sold a call, right, and we could sell it for as soon as March 17th, believe it or not, we could sell it for as soon as March 17th which is only a week out, 7 days, and we can get $45 per $45. I mean, yeah, $50. How did that go to 50? Where was your trigger finger? Well, all right, we need it to click up and go into green. If that goes to 50 again, we're jumping all over that, okay? Because then we would collect $50. Now, for this particular, if we had to click through this trade right here, it would be a 40-cent credit, right? 40-cent credit on 3 contracts, so that's 300 shares, so it'd be $120 in our pocket. But see, this bid and ask is enormous right now, and it's because of the volatility involved in the financial stocks, right? So just even right before our very eyes, the bid, which is the bottom of this, the bid is at 45, so we should be able to collect even more dollar bills, but it's only at 40. So the strike is at 40. So we would make the difference between the $40 and the $39.92. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot of money because it's not. It's not. That would be 8 cents, right? 8 cents a share times 300. So 8 cents a share times 300. So we would make $24 on the share appreciation. So it would go from the $39.92 that we paid just through the roof over here to $40, because that would be the strike price that we would agree to sell those shares at. Okay, and if you looked at the implied volatility, nowhere near that signature bank, but it's still above 40. And for a very solid bank like Jackson, that's a high implied probability. But also the delta is really high because the trade would be based on almost positively being assigned these shares, meaning selling the 300 shares, but collecting a bunch of dollar bills in the meantime. So say we continued this and we put the 3 in, right? And we put $70 bills out there. I mean, that could get filled right here and right now, and we'd collect 210. So if we added 210 to the mix, right? So we would have 210. And in fact, we'll go with this. We have the $24 in share price appreciation, okay, plus the 210 from this selling these 3 contracts at a $40 strike price for 70 cents per share, which is 100 shares per contract, 3 contracts. And then we would add that dividend because we'd still be on the books for the sweet dividend, and that would be $186 for a total of $420. $420. That would be profit in 1 week, and then we would divide that by what we invested, which was $11,976. So that would be a return on our capital of 3.5% in 1 week, right? In 7 days. So hypothetically, you'd be able to do this type of trade 52 times a year. Let's just round it down to 50 times a year. Let's round it down to 50 times a year. And that would be, you go again. Are you sure you've been doing the right math? 3 carry the 1. I think it is. So 3.5% in a week. If you were able to do a similar trade with that type of return on capital, you'd have 175% return on your money. Now, the hugest caveat of all is the fact that it's based on this share price of Jackson Financial going up and through this $40. It could go downtown to Chinatown to $22.50. Then we still have those 300 shares and they're worth way less than we paid. I mean, that's the huge downside risk to getting involved with any of these assets, and then also trading options, either selling or the puts or selling the calls. Because I haven't actually, other than on a credit spread or on a iron condor, those are the only options I've ever bought, and those have always been bought in conjunction with selling options and only as downside protection. So there's where we're at right now. We could try to put this on the board. We could even but because the volatility is so high today, and it could change. The markets could get real calm on the financials by Monday or Tuesday, which would change the volatility, which would then change the premium, because we're looking at an asset of that. I think we were buying it at what, 42.50 before, and we were just fine with that. We thought we were getting a bargain there. So, and then if we click over here, this really gets you excited. So Alpha Spread says that Jackson Financial has an intrinsic value of $139 a share and a discounted cash flow value of $223 a share, and a relative value, and that's like, on the dipsy do side of things, of $55 a share. Worst case scenario, they're saying it's 98. What in the world? So why would I even ever sell those? So what I'm going to do at this very moment, instead of spinning the whole wheel of option, I'm just going to roll the dice by not trading these options and just keeping them in my pocket for now. Because of course, if this thing goes up to $43, $44 next week, which it actually won't, because it's going to go down on Monday based on what the share price is, or what the dividend is. It'll go down just theoretically 62 cents a share. But in the meantime, I mean, it could be popping into the mid 40s by the end of next week if things stabilize. If they continue to deteriorate, then we're in trouble, right? And we're in trouble that, one, we didn't make this play and collect the dollar bills, because now we would be selling it under the current price. It's just, it's weeble wobbling back and forth. still showing 45, but we know 45 is on the low end of that. We could ask way more and possibly get it. Now I'm like talking myself back into it because it is a cash flow play. But what if indeed this asset goes up to $120 and you paid $39.92 for it? That's where some real money can be made. So we'll roll the dice, take our chances, and then just revisiting the end of last video where Maya Coco came running into the Fortress of Solitude to share the incredible news that she has landed the job. And the job is this: she is going to be going out to Wyoming this summer. Her and hopefully her sister, they both applied for this job. Madison, I think, has an interview on Tuesday. Maya, just right before she came barging into the room, had an interview, and the guy told her, I don't normally do this. There's usually 2 more interviews for you to go through, but because of your answers and the fact that she does have waitress/server experience, and she's super smart and super just a wonderful person, they offered her the job right there and then. So it's $1,000 a week, and it includes room and board and 3 meals a day. And I'm talking about, this place is it's actually ridiculous. It is. And the ranch is, get this, you better be seated for this, it's $3,500 a day per person to stay at this ranch. It is the most incredible thing you've ever seen. And some very some unbelievable people rent these places and stay in this gorgeous area of Wyoming. People like the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones, Miley Cyrus, Lil Wayne, Justin Bieber, Tom Hanks, all kinds of those types of people stay out to this rich person. They go out to this rich person place. And I'm so excited for her. I'm so excited because I'm sure Madison's going to get the job as well. And I'm kind of at a loss for words because I just thought, I'm also sad. I'm also sad because that means the girls won't be here this summer. But you know what? Me and Sparkle, we had a very, she had actually a better childhood than I did. Mine was on the, kind of the lower end of middle class. I always had everything I needed. Don't get me wrong at all in that regard, but I never had anything above that. In fact, I went on 2 vacations in my life as a child. One, we took a road trip down to Florida to stay with my stepdad's parents in Florida. So we drove a 1976 burnt orange Monte Carlo 22 hours down to Florida while I was basically a prisoner in the back seat while my older brother was just blowing gas right into my nose holes the entire time. And then, wedging me in the meantime, because he was like a big bully, even though he's my best friend now. So that was one of my vacations. The other one was we took a road trip to New Orleans, and it was for an insurance convention. Wah, wah, wah. So while my mom and stepdad were at the insurance convention all day, I thought I was really cool because they had a arcade in the Hilton. So I was fantasizing that I was like Richie Rich, where I was, what was the name of that show? Silver Spoons. I was like Ricky from Silver Spoons. And this was like my deluxe apartment in the sky that I lived in, and my pocket full of quarters. I'd run down to the arcade. And that was, I still had a blast, but those were the only 2 vacations that I took. And my wife didn't go on many vacations as a child as well. So when we first got married, we said, we're going to do 2 things. We're going to have a good time. No, 3 things. We're going to put ourselves before our kids. Wah, wah, wah. Sorry, kids. But we're going to go on vacations, a lot of vacations, if we're able to. And that's what we've done. So we want to be able to come up with different ideas and adventures for ourselves and for the kids. So the 2 girls, looks like they're going to be living out in Wyoming at the Brush Creek Ranch. Visit that website, check it out, click through some of the pictures. It is really a sick place. It is unbelievable. So I'm both super excited and a little sad at the same time. But you know what? At some point, fly away. They have to fly away, and hopefully they do so, having had a great childhood, incredible experiences, a true love for their mom and dad, because that's what we've certainly provided for them. If we look at Jackson Financial, we're already up a few cents. Let's look at the SB and the NY. Should we have held it, or should we have sold out like the sellouts that we are when we sold at 71.25? So if we would have held on, we would have made another 70 cents a share. But we did make out like a bandit with $227 profit from that day trade. So that'll trigger the old boop, 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 trigger the old day trade alarms over at the 72.35. You're losing more money as we speak. That's okay. Remember, I do have one superpower, and that is I don't suffer from FOMO. Fear of missing out just never really crosses my mind because I'm too busy thinking about you and these videos and trying to learn to be a trader over time. So that's what we have right now. Jackson Financial was the move that we made. One quick look at the SPY. You know, when I hit the panic alarm and abort, time to get out. So yesterday afternoon, when I aborted that iron condor, you know, my number was 392. So if SPY was going to crash through 392, I was going to start losing dollar bills, and it could have easily been an $800 loss. And so I sold out the farm, cashed out of that at a $330 loss. Now, you would run that against the $9,200 credit I got, but I'm just running it kind of in a line item. So I've got the credit, you saw the spreadsheet, and then I've got the debit as separate line entries. But look, it prevented me from suffering all day watching this thing bounce around, and then ultimately I'd be at full gas, full $800 loss if I would have stayed through at this point, because there's no way to be able to sell out of that position when it's this far into the money, and it's still being a little violent, isn't it? So we got that going for us. This will probably be where I end it today, because I want to go down and I'll check out. I've got some of the World Baseball Classic recorded. I'm a big fan of the baseball. And I got Japan against China, Shohei Ohtani, and Lars Nootbaar. Lars Nootbaar is on the Japanese team because his mom's Japanese. I'm now speaking Japanese. I really think so. So he's batting leadoff for Japan against China. I think it'll be a beat downtown to Chinatown with Japan taking them down. And then I think my prediction for the championship will be USA versus Dominican Republic. We'll see, because Japan could easily be right there as well. Enough about you, Bart. Let's get into the weekend. So it's Friday. I probably won't be back today. I should arrive tomorrow or Sunday with like a weekly recap, maybe even the last 2 weeks, because I don't think I did one last weekend. Coco and Lady Tanzalot, they leave in the morning for Playa del Carmen, Mexico. So I will be sad about that, but I'm also super excited for them, especially for the fact that those two will be together alone on a vacation, basically for the first time ever. Last year, Kid One and my wife, they were on a vacation together. So this will be a great experience for both of them. I'm excited. I will miss them dearly because they are my sweethearts. I'll look at it just selling off right before our very eyes. But that's what I have. Thanks a lot for tuning in. For some reason today, I'm excited about a lot of things, getting the great news from Coco about the job. It's a good time to be alive, and it's a good time to be friends with you. I appreciate you stopping by. Make sure you are indeed a subscriber. Click that notification bell. I know I've been posting a lot of videos, and maybe you don't want to be notified all the time, but I'd love it if you spent some time with me. I'll see you in the next video.